Staff of public universities who were part of the Teachers and Education Workers Union of the Trades Union Congress, TUC, have declared their defection from the union. In place, they have announced a Tertiary Education Workers Union of Ghana. Their reasons largely center on what they say is the inability of TEWU to champion better conditions of service for their members.
For the consideration of a national leadership of TEWU of TUCGH, and they fail to effectively represent us at the national negotiations levels, resulting to the current consequences of worsening conditions of service. They have eradicated allowances under the pretext of consolidating the allowances without any query from the national leadership of TEWU of TUCGH. Almost all allowances for members of TEWU at the local level before SSSS were either converted or consolidated by Fair Wages and Salary Commission due to the negligence, neglect, and lack of commitment to the process, which rather have worsened than improved the conditions of, members. TEWU National have protected their own allowances for the staff at the National Secretariat, such as electricity allowance, cashier's allowance, risk allowance, etc. What an incredible act and hypocrisy at the highest order by the national leadership of TEWU of TUCGH. Our representation at the Public University's occupational pension chain is in limbo and no voice to speak out to correct the lack of representation, injustices, and unfairness going on in our campuses against pensioners in the management of the pensions funds.
Now let's find out why the breakup away from the Trades Union Congress. Joining us on phone now is the chairman of the KNUST branch of TEWU, Charles Arthur. Mr. Arthur, good evening. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. Thank you for also having me.
What are the key issues informing your decision to break away from the Trades Union Congress?
Thank you very much, and thank you to your listeners, your viewers. The reasons are numerous, but specifically among them are our conditions of service has expired and it has not been renewed over the years, not less than 9 years. And it's the work of the national officers of TEWU. It is the work of the national officers of TEWU that will have to send a proposal to the fair wages for us to be negotiated on. But they cannot. We have to force them to do that. And we started it even since 2019. Up to date, we have not finished. It, and it has come to a standstill. Again, when we were migrated into the single spine, we were told that nobody will get any new allowances, and we knew that our old allowances will remain. When we were migrated into the single spine, our allowances were consolidated. But if you look at Section 105 of the Labor Act, Labor Act 203 Act 351, Section 105, the effect of collective agreement, subsection 3, that any provision that have effect at terms of contract of employment under subsection 2 shall continue to have effect after the expiration of collective agreement, so long as they have not been varied by the agreement of the parties or in pursuance of this act. That once there's a condition of service agreement, one party cannot vary it. But our national officers allow fair wages to vary it, consolidating our risk allowance, our electricity subsidy, our cashier's allowance, and our 15% social allowance. To our surprise, the risk allowance, fair wages own categorization of allowances in category 1. What is there is general risk. All general risks have been consolidated. And the meaning of general risk is that in an organization where everybody from managing director to a labor is taking a risk, is a general risk. And that one is what fair wages says that they have consolidated it. In our case, risk allowance is for a designated people, for laboratory, for library, for maintenance, for sanitary, those whose work are more risky. You understand? It's not everybody in the university that has, but it has been consolidated.
So you say...
You understand?
So you say 9 years ago when all of these started, you've not been able to make any significant headway. Now, how are you able to do that as a singular unit when you're breaking away from the Trades Union Congress, which is, you know, a bigger union and has a better bargaining power?
My brother, thank you very much. If you get a federation and the federation is not going to help you, you opt and get a small number that you have control over it, that you'll be able to manage it well. That is where we find ourselves now. We think that we join a federation and that federation will not help us. And once it will not help us, we have to opt out. And in any case, when you look at Section 80 of the Labour Act, it says formation of trade union or employers organization. The two or more workers employed in the same undertaking may form a trade union. The term card here is the same. The same. You understand? So if you come to TEWU, please, if you come to TEWU, we have library board, we have museum and monument board, we have all secondary schools, and we have tertiary institutions joining TEWU as a one. We are not from the same. So the law here even defeats TEWU as a union, bigger union.
Okay.
We are not the same.
But have you in the past tried to resolve these issues internally?
Yes, we have all efforts. All efforts. We are all efforts as few times. All efforts. This year, they have never even called one meeting for the public university to meet with them. To our surprise, we were there, they sent a letter that we are going to fair wages. Any step by our practice and usages, anytime we are going for negotiating, we meet, review whatever that we have done before we go. To our surprise, they got a letter and they have even changed those who have to be part of them. And they have also narrowed the number to the negotiation that some universities were not represented. You understand? And others are represented. Now, how can it be if somebody in Tamale will not be represented and somebody in Cape Coast will have to represent? How is the Tamale man going to hear or know what transpired?
Right.